Oh, here we go.
The Love Gurus podcast is starting now. The Love Gurus are comics that bring comedic wisdom to the savages asking bizarre relationship questions on the internet. Your hosts are Suzanne Leah Shepherd and Jake Vevera. I am the Love Gurus' pet robot Cassandra. I love you.
Oh, we are live. Hello to everyone on YouTube right now. You are watching the Love Gurus podcast. We have two awesome guests today. First up, they're both returning guests, man. First up, follow Mark DeFrancis on social media. Thank you for being back on the show, man.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Happy to have you. And then Bob, welcome back to the podcast, buddy.
Hey, rock and roll, daddy. One trick pony, being a dead horse, pissing blood and bleeding piss. We're going to have a good time. Thanks for having me back.
Dude, thank you for being back. I am looking forward to the show. Thank you to everybody watching on YouTube. Definitely follow us every single Thursday. You can catch it live at 9 o'clock, unless I am fucking late like I was today. I was setting up a bunch of shit so that because we eventually are going to do these in person again, but we do want to still be able to do them live, be on YouTube. And so I was kind of setting it up to where we could do that. And it took me way longer than I thought. But yeah, if you are watching on YouTube, comment in the chat, comment about the questions, write your own questions. If you're listening on iTunes or something, write it into loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com. We are going to get started shortly, but first I'm going to plug the white wine, the unofficial fifth member of the show. I am drinking Camontini Pinot Grigio. So we'll see how that is.
Camontini.
Camontini.
Name.
That's right. What kind are you drinking over there, man?
I got a Vevera.
Vevera?
I don't know. It's called Vevera, which is really, really disappointing, actually.
Really?
But,
it's not good?
It's not bad.
Oh, that's
getting the job done, I'll tell you that.
Nice.
Yes.
Really counts.
That is what counts. So, without further ado, let's take our first questions from the Wild Animals on Yahoo Answers.
First question. She declined my date offer, but went to the same place with someone else. I knew we weren't dating exclusively and that she didn't owe me anything. She was asked out by me in the past and she knew about my romantic feelings to her. She said it was mutual. So we spent more than a month seeing each other almost daily. We had sex, all romantic cuddles, kisses, nights spent together. We went out, anything that any person dating would do. It was a dream to me. She then became distant for a few days of not seeing each other. 2 weeks later, I randomly stumbled into her in a park. She saw me, ran to me, hugged me, and kissed me, and just told me that she had a lot going on. We went our separate ways, but we said that we were going to swap. Yesterday, I called her and asked her to come to a local jazz jam. She declined my offer.
Did you say jazz gym? It cut out.
Yeah.
That is what I heard, yeah.
A jazz jam.
Oh, a jazz jam.
A jazz gym. Who's there? Just sounds like they're smoking on the treadmill.
Dude, it sounds like the most pretentious place to fucking lift weights that anyone
improvising
could ever.
every step of the workout.
Yeah. Sometimes I go up and down, but sometimes I go side to side. You don't know where it's going to go.
Improv. So I invited her to a local jazz jam. She declined my offer only to come to the place at the same time that I invited her to with another guy. She sat in for a few songs and then they went somewhere else. Later that evening, I was with my friends and we stumbled upon her again. She was going to a karaoke bar with this same guy. I wanted to talk to her, but I felt like it was pointless. She's moved on and she has a new guy, but I still care about her so much. Should I text her? I mean, talk about a sick bird. Here's what gets me about this question is the fact that he asks her out to the jazz jam and she's already going. She's like, hey, I'm actually either she was already going, but she told him no. And then because either she had plans with some other guy to go or some other random guy wanted to take her to this jazz jam. Like, what happens at the jazz jam? Because it sounds like the coolest thing about this question, really. Like,
Yeah, it definitely sounds like the prom for wherever these terrible people live.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big deal. The jazz jam. You gotta ask months in advance.
yeah, do you have a date to the jazz jam? And then there's like jazz jam proposals or whatever.
Why not just call it a jazz show or a jazz session?
No.
The term jazz jam makes me want to fucking take a trombone or whatever the hell they're playing that night and just hit over the head anybody who called it that.
I'm just confused. Sorry, go ahead.
But I was just saying, I get the jazz jam because of the alliteration, but to me, a jam would sort of like indicate it's only for like 20 minutes. You know, it's just like two saxophone players who accidentally cross paths under a bridge, and we're like, hey, let's out some sick tunes.
It sounds like they're going to yell showtime before they start.
It sounds more antagonistic to me. It's like how jazzmen settle their differences at the jazz jam. Like
instead of a roast, it's a jazz jam.
Oh
jazz
yeah,
jam.
that's how it's settled. Yeah,
they take 10 paces and then they just start doing dueling trumpets.
It's yeah, I would watch that. Yeah, it
sounds like the shittiest documentary Netflix has ever made. The Jazz Jam.
It's like it's one of those ones that you put on your watch list because you want to seem smart, but you're never really going to watch it.
Yeah, you do the right thing and you never watch. It just sits up there.
But why would anyone ever take a person they want to have sex with to a jazz jam? Because that doesn't make any sense to me. There is nothing attractive about that.
Yeah, that's a first date of a guy who doesn't fuck. That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I have like my boyfriend has these friends that they go to like these jazz festivals. And it's totally like a drug user's paradise. Like, you know, people do. She was like, we were doing the conga on mushrooms. Like, like it's not like, you know, it's like seems like a you know, like a psychedelic kind of event, not heroin.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
You never ever take a girl to see somebody cooler than you.
That's a good point.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, hey, you want to see how awesome I'm not? Let's go see these dudes who play instruments and do drugs and have their own name for their own thing that only they do. And then you wonder why your girlfriend's clearly cheating on you openly, sort of, and you're falling for it. Someday you're gonna die, and she's gonna die, and the other guy's gonna die, and none of it's gonna matter. So stay away from her and stay away from jazz.
Jazz never did anything good. I've said that for years, and I firmly stand by it.
Yeah,
it's always important when considering dating to remember that we're all gonna die. I think that's the key here.
Yes,
exactly.
That's why I'm not
married. So, is this guy actually playing at the jazz jam? Is he a musician?
No, it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like. So I guess to recap the whole question, they had like one hot month, right? But they were like banging each other all the time. Lots of, they stayed over at each other's night every time, like very intimate, like a very, very intimate month with each other. Then she gets kind of distant. Then they just bump into each other 2 weeks later. And she like throws herself at him. It's just like, oh, I'm having some stuff go on. So he's like, okay. Then he invites her to the jazz jam. She shows up with another cat, and
nice.
They call each other cats there. I forgot. I fucking hate jazz people.
They sure do. Hey, cool cat, what's going on?
Oh, I hate jazz. I fucking hate jazz.
Yeah, just so we're clear, there's only white people at this jazz jam in my mind.
Yeah, this is the whitest
no
jazz.
person of color has gone to this jazz jam.
Yeah.
But yet there's a lot of fedoras and calling each other cat.
No, these people sound white, but the one black person who does live in their town is the jazz musician.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I'm picturing the white band.
He figured out his racket.
I'm picturing this jazz jam as the white band that stole all the black musicians' music at the end of Mulaney's Black Bottom. That's the exact scene I'm picturing when they're at this jazz jam. A 1, and a 2, and a 3, and then they play. That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't sound like it. Yeah, but so I love how much you guys are hating on jazz jam. I heard that.
Every time I hear the term jazz, it annoyed me when I first heard it. And then what happened? Like an avalanche, it just rolled downhill. And every time I heard it, the hatred just grew. And it grew. It started off a little hate ball. And then it grew into a big stacked up hate man with a little carrot nose and all that. Now it's an avalanche of hate. It's ridiculous.
What it's really distracted us from the fact that this is a question about a man who doesn't understand what it is to be in a relationship, because this woman is just in another relationship and he doesn't know how to process that. She's just dating someone else and he keeps acting like he's confused by that concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I saw her at another place with the same guy. As if they had a relationship or something.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think they were actually dating. I think it was one of those things. Did it say, I mean, like, were they together? Like, how long were they together? Any of that information?
They had, it was a month that they had where they slept over at each other's houses every night, did all the things that couples do for that month.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, that, I mean, yeah.
What are
sounds
all
like
the things that couples do?
Those were my words, not his, but I'm sure.
Yeah. It's, well, I definitely think that he must have done something to piss her off, man. Mm-hmm. Do you know how mad I would have to be at a woman for me to just like, not even like just break up with her, but now I'm gonna take some other chick to where she's at, like just to oh you want to meet here? Cool. This is Linda. Fuck you, Jennifer. Like that, she would have to do something heinous to me to make me want to do that to her, you know?
Yeah, I think that he must have done something to make her, completely disregard him. Because first of all, she wasn't like, oh, I can't go to the jazz jam with you because I'm already going with someone else. By the way, I'm dating Tony.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't even offer that explanation. She was just straight up stone cold about it and was like, I care nothing about you. So either there's something about him that's very weird that she figured out, or she just like, also a month is a long time. Like, you kind of get to know someone after a month and you're kind of like, I don't care about you anymore.
Yeah. If this guy was a stalker, he would have written the exact same question that we just heard.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way around that. He just doesn't understand that he's trying to kill this woman and she just doesn't want to go with him to the jazz jam.
You think he's a psycho? You think that he imagined the whole living together for a month in his head?
100%.
You think he's
full
like,
the Joker?
Like, he's the neighbor and Joker. He's the neighbor and Joker.
Driver going on.
Yeah, every time he looks at her, he's just like, we had such a good month together. And she's like, why does this guy, what's his name, Gary? Why does he stare at me funny like this? What the fuck is going on?
Why is he following me to the jazz jam?
Yeah. No, I don't want to go to a jazz jam. Who told him I like jazz jams? Whereas in his fake relationship the whole month, all they talked about was jazz jams, They were like, I like really, really white jazz people, and listening to them fucking riff with instruments and sound awful with no lyrics. That's what I like.
It is odd, like, in the sense, because also how he makes it seem like they just keep running into each other, where unless you live in a very, very small town, not happening. Like,
right.
Don't get me wrong, like, yes, there just was a pandemic, but I'll bet I haven't run into someone I know in like 2 years. Like, it just does not happen. Like, where your friends are, and you don't run into them. So
what was a really stalkerish line was the things that couples do. That's something we would say if you have no idea what couples do.
Yeah.
But we're trying to pretend you did.
I think she was in a hole in his basement the whole fucking time. And he was like, that's what people do, right? And now she got out. And she's like, I'm going to really rub it in Buffalo Bill's face here. I'm going to take some other guy to the jazz jam. Fuck you, Mr. Goodbye Horses.
It goes with me to the jazz jam, or else it gets stoned.
It actually wasn't even someone she was romantically interested in. She's just like, dude, I have this stalker. Can I like pay you $100 so I can go like have a good time with my friends and not get
You got to go to a jazz jam, but it's going to be worth it. Trust me.
Some people call the cops on stalkers. I prefer the more petty approach. I like to take a better looking dude than the stalker to the jazz jam where I'm going to meet them. And they get to sit there and listen to shitty flute solos as I make out with this guy vigorously at the table next to them.
There's so much flute at the jazz jam, isn't
there? A lot of goddamn
tons
flute.
Of flute.
Yeah. And they don't all sound like Ron Burgundy in Anchorman.
No. So much flute. But I think, okay, let's assume that this guy is not a crazy person. That these are like legit, like she just turned cold all of a sudden for whatever reason. If that's true, what he's missing is closure. Like, he's missing that closure of them.
He is missing a lot of things. Closure is definitely one of them, though.
where she says, okay, like this isn't working out for me, you know, blah, blah, whatever, you know, because he's still kind of holding out hope in the back of his mind, you know, because I've done that before. I've definitely like, you know, some guys kind of like, you know, ghosted me or started to get sporadic with his messages. And I'm like, no, but we had such a great time. I'm sure it's going to message me. We're going to go to jazz jam. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like bringing another guy to where you're meeting this guy. It sounds like she's kind of being a twat, but like at the same time, like we always point out every single episode, I err against the person writing the question because it's their pro-them propaganda. Their MSNBC, their Fox News, their North Korean state-run news if they happen to inherit the entire country, right? So when they leave out important details, I have to think that it's very convenient for them. What's being left out here is why would she just take another dude there? You know what I mean? Like he would be kind of commenting more on is she insane? Like it just seems like a malicious thing to do to somebody who you were in a somewhat serious relationship with. I mean, they were living together for a month. I know it's not a long time, but it's at least seeing them casually, and you wouldn't want to do that to somebody unless you did something to fucking piss them off. Now, if he mentioned like, oh, we had some kind of weird fight or something or whatever, then it's like, all right, maybe it's two-sided. But the fact that none of that's in there, I think this guy did something really shitty to her, and that's what made her do that. Otherwise, there'd be some mention of like a falling out or a fight about nothing or whatever.
Is it possible this dude is just a friend? Because if I had a platonic friend of the other gender that I wanted to be friends with but not hook up with, I would take them to the jazz jam. Because,
right.
Again, there's nothing sexy about the jazz jam. Maybe this guy just loves jazz and heard about the jazz jam, and he's in the town for the weekend. She's taking him out, you know, being a good friend. She doesn't want to do this. She'd love to spend time with this guy.
I hope this guy is like a really douchey soul patch.
Yeah,
that's what I'm picturing right now.
A lot of soul patches at the jazz jam.
If you read this question at face value, it definitely, if you read this question at face value and didn't think about it at all, the answer would be, yeah, just text her. Text her and be like, hey, I saw you there with someone else. Like, what's going on with us? Like, start that conversation to get that closure. But again, it's because of how the question's phrased. Yeah, like actually my advice is you need to look at yourself. Like something happened and you need to pinpoint what it is. And but I mean, still text her. What's the worst she's going to do? You're the stalker. You're the dangerous one. She's fine.
Yeah. You got to go to a therapist and figure out what the hell happened when you were 7 or whatever to make you such a douche.
Dude,
that's you undouche yourself. You do a douche cleanse.
Yeah, all they do in therapy is, what was your relationship with your parents look like?
Yeah.
Oh, I would go in there and they'd be like, oh, this is bothering you at work. How does that make you think about when your mom died? I'm like, that has nothing to do with it. Like every time.
I hope this guy goes in there and they ask him that, and he's like, yeah, it was a really great relationship. My mom was really loving. My dad, same. I mean, he took me hunting and fishing and stuff like that. And we were really close. And to the point where the therapist is like, wait, so you're just like this for no goddamn reason. Like your parents did a perfect job raising you. And they're just looking at each other like, I don't know. He keeps fucking dragging women into the jazz bar and getting fucking cocked. I don't know what we did. I don't know what we did where he's getting jazz cocked. I thought we raised him good.
I hear you on Texter. But I honestly think this dude needs to get rid of this stuff because it's clearly bothering him. He needs to go find another girl, get her to the jazz jam because there's a lot of fish out in the jazz jam, okay?
Yeah.
A lot of people want to go. There's plenty of other girls to go after. Try that out. See how that feels before you go text this girl who's clearly dating someone else.
Yeah, but the fish at the jazz band are like, at the jazz jam, are like those fucking things that just float along the rocks at the bottom. You know what I mean? Those kind of brown polka dot fish with the big fat cheeks. Looks like they're obese, even though they only eat algae. And you're like, how the fuck does that happen? I think those little bottom suckers
I feel like
are at the jazz jam.
Are pretty lame at the jazz jam, but the girls actually, I bet, are pretty fly. That's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, they might be okay. But I'm not. Anybody willing to put up with guys calling a jazz jam though? She's got something wrong with her. I don't know what it is.
Look, if I've learned anything in life, it's women are willing to put up with a soul patch and a fedora way more than they should.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is a good point.
run out of options. You get desperate.
There's two things we have to consider here. First, you mentioned, a few of you mentioned, there's no way this has to be a large town. I just drove across this country in a pandemic, and let me tell you, there's no jazz jam in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Yes,
It's got to be a big town. And something else that, as we've been goofing on this hypothetical hangout, has anyone considered that you go inside and it's just 12 to maybe 15 members of the Utah Jazz?
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, this place could be awesome.
When you say that turns that whole scenario right around. That's fucking
there you go.
dope.
And first, you're like, I don't want to go to a jazz jam. This sounds fucking dumb. And you go in there, and it's just a whole bunch of basketball players doing fucking rails, and you're like, oh, this jazz jam. You're partying like NBA guys off season. Like, this is great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Kardashian, Friday night. You know what I mean? That's how those girls roll. So, what would we say our final advice to him? My final advice to him is text her, but not with the intention of getting back together, with the intention of getting closure as to why she doesn't want to date you anymore, because she doesn't want to date you anymore.
Yeah.
That's what I would say to him.
Well, yeah, I guess text her and be like, listen, before you decide that you should constantly bring other dudes to where I'm going to be all the time, I will never say the words jazz jam out loud ever again. Does this change your opinion of me as a man? And maybe it won't. Maybe you've said jazz jam too. I already hate you. Maybe she hates you forever. But you know what? The next one won't. Just never say jazz jam again.
I think he should text her, but not to date her. He should be looking for someone else, but he should text her to stake out which jazz jams he gets to take a girl to and which jazz jams she should go to. So first and third of the month is him. Second and four is her. No need to, cross streams at the jazz jam.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, joint custody of the jazz jams.
There you go.
Crossing streams at the jazz jam does sound like a really terrible title for a really terrible jazz album.
Now, that sounds like the Kardashians right there.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I think we answered that question. Should we move on?
Absolutely. Next question on the Love Gurus. People, if you are listening not live, then listen live, man. We go live every single Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Until then, we are going to take another one from the Wild Barbarian Savages on Yahoo Answers.
Next question. I'm a straight cis man and I like to cross-dress. Should I put a picture in my profile? Over the quarantine, I've had a lot of free time to explore flights.
Even this guy's manlier than the guy that hangs out at jazz jams.
To explore flights and fancy, and cross-dressing is one of them. I don't currently do it in public, but I do enjoy the sort of ritual of shaving my legs, putting on makeup, and a cute outfit. It's not like central to my personality, but I like to do it like maybe once a month. I'm secure in my current gender and sexual identity.
My fiance really does any of those things. This guy sounds great.
From my other pictures,
he's single, clearly.
Awesome. I'm gonna take her to the jazz gym.
Assume that I'm pretty normal. I see the pros of including a picture of me cross-dressing as showing more of an authentic version of myself, that I would skew towards being attracted and androgynous alternative women that might find that side of me attractive. The cons are, for me at least, that to see that kind of stuffy may drive women away. But anyway, at some point, it does need to come out. So do I include a picture of me cross-dressing in my profile? People are too honest nowadays. Right?
I was going to ask you what your opinion was, but clearly.
What happened to, it takes 6 months to get to know someone? What happened to that? If I'm just saying, for me personally, if I let all of my cards show in my online dating profile, I never would have gotten a date. Never.
Well, if you let all your cards show, you got a lot of cards. Let's be honest.
D10 on YouTube asks, does this question come with a picture? Yeah, did he show you the good?
It didn't. I know that's a question. I'm also curious because it sounds like there's effort put in. It's not just, oh, I'm going to put on a cute outfit. It's he shaves his legs, he gets an outfit, he does his makeup. Like, it's a process, which, again, like, what a healthy alternative to, certain things that people did during the pandemic, right? Yeah.
Look, that's a good point. You got to care for yourself.
And I mean, look, we're trying to answer this guy's question honestly. We could sit here and give the lie cop out politician answer of you be who you are on the inside and don't let anyone tell you anything and just do what you. It's like, no, but maybe he looks shitty in a dress. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not a philosophical question. If he looks shitty in a dress, don't win. If you're trying to date and you look shitty in a shirt and blue jeans, I'd say put on a different shirt and blue jeans. Maybe he doesn't look like Harry Styles on the cover of Vogue or whatever. Like, maybe he looks like me when I wear a dress. It's fucking horrifying. Yeah. In fact, I've been with my fiance for almost 6 years. She still has no idea that I cross dress, and I like it that way.
Gotta keep some mystery.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, though, is that one thing personally, like if my boyfriend cross dressed, and he did a better job at just dressing up than I did, that would be intimidating. Like even if he was like, oh, cool, like you cross dress, whatever, it's like, that dress looks so much better on you than it does me. Swipe left.
Right.
Like, you gotta,
I was wondering that. I mean, you come out of the bathroom ready to go. You're going to like a dinner party, and what? You're both wearing the same blouse. And you're like, hey, what the fuck, Jim? Take that blouse off. I'm wearing the blouse. I put it on first. Yeah. You wear the blouse on a different day. I got the red blouse. You wear the blue one.
I'm really excited by this ratio, this like 1 day out of 30 ratio for cross-dressing. Like,
is that what he said? Was
once a month was right. That's what was said.
Yeah, so once a month.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't handle once a month, like, well, that's something that's wrong with you.
I agree. Honestly,
if my girl wanted to freaking buff it up for 1 week, 1 day out of the month, like, go for it. Like, be you. That's actually kind of fun and exciting.
Yeah. In fact, now
I didn't sign on for that, but I get absolutely adjust to that.
That's true. Once a month is not bad. I mean, I've decided I'm so on board with that. I'm just going to start cross-dressing to make sure that my fiance is okay with it once a month. And if I'm going to come in the room and like a really nice negligee and stuff like that. And if she has a problem with it, she's fucking gone, man. I'm getting a new one.
It's a good test.
It's a very good test. I call it the Harry Styles. It's the Harry Styles test.
I agree. I think like certainly like how I dress is not very girly or feminine by any means. And so, so like I said, my only fear would be that like if I was dating someone and they cross-dress, that they just looked so much better and cuter. But I don't know, maybe it could be like a bonding thing. But yeah, to Mark's point, like people date people that have so many vices or things that they don't, or that they're not like used to, I guess, or whatever. But yeah, it's like, this is something that anyone could completely get used to. So with that, I think it's, don't put a picture on your dating profile, but once you get to know someone and you like that person, just then tell them and be, be open about it. And it's like, and also tell it in a way that it's not a big thing, because it's kind of not. Like sometimes like people make things worse by like building it up and being like, I have something huge to tell you. And it's like, oh my God, what was it? Oh, like, it's like whatever.
I'm telling you, after Harry Styles, he made it easier for dudes like you, man. Harry Styles is for cross-dressers what Bruce Willis was for bald white guys. He's making it okay.
Wait, does Harry Styles cross-dress regularly though? Because otherwise he's a fucking tourist. And I
have no idea. I
seriously, honestly, no, I'd be pissed.
Only reason I even know about it is because people like Ben Shapiro started freaking out. And I was like, and they were going,
that is how you find out about it.
Masculinity is under attack. And I'm like, is it? Because I wouldn't have known who was on the cover of Vanity Fair had you not fucking made a stink and gotten media coverage for it. If you would have just let him be on a dress and wouldn't have said shit, I would have no idea. Because watch this, gun to my head, ask me who has been on Vanity Fair's cover like any other time within the last year. I have no idea. My brains are all over the fucking wall. I have no idea.
Gun to your head. Come on.
It's a pretend gun.
You wouldn't just
special
rip them out.
It's special effects. I don't have I don't have Lucas Studios here. I only got my fingers. I only got this.
Also, wasn't there was a guy that just performed on Saturday Night Live that he wore a dress, but it was like in like memory of Kurt Cobain, like because I guess Kurt Cobain would wear dresses.
Because he never
the ball, yeah. The Headbangers Ball. He only did it once, but it got replayed so often that everyone thought it's a thing Cobain did. He just wore like a yellow gown to. Yeah, it was an old heavy metal show called the Headbangers Ball, late '80s, early '90s, and it kind of fizzled out 92, 93ish. I want to throw in something here. I like to think I know a thing or two about relationships. Take it from a guy who's had two of them.
You're willing to go back. That's what matters.
Yeah, being yourself is the worst thing you can do in a relationship. If you be yourself and if you have trust and communication, it's pretty much doomed.
Yeah.
So I would just hide, and no matter what the situation is, just live quietly in shame, and you'll be all right.
It takes a lot of courage to live quietly in shame, and people don't know that.
Thank you.
And I think, no, I see you, man. I'm right here.
Also, I looked it up. Kid Cudi was the guy in the dress on SNL.
Yeah.
Hey, who's Harry Styles?
Harry Styles is he was in boy band One Direction. He's in
he definitely feels like a celebrity who doesn't do anything, but he's just a celebrity anyway.
Man.
Dude, I don't know.
That's the thing with getting older, man. Is there's musicians I've never heard of that have like 1 billion streams on one song on Spotify. And I'm like, I don't even know who this person is, and I work for music talk shows. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm just pissed because I dated Kurt Cobain for 3 years and he never told me he cross-dressed. Didn't even put it in his profile picture.
Uh-huh.
You know?
You had to find out about it watching MTV like the rest of us. You're like, what the fuck is that? I've only seen him in torn flannel. Where's the torn flannel, Kurt? What is this bullshit?
I think this guy should put it in his profile picture. I do, because it's part of him, and someone's gonna love it. Someone's going to be 100% on board for the once a month woman that they're dating. Like that's a nice little change up once a month that I think is pretty cool. I think
the women that like this are really going to like it, dude.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You're not trying to impress everybody. You're just trying to find one person who really loves your jam. So throw it out there.
Like a jazz jam. The idea of it fucking horrifies most of us. But for the douchebags that like it, they'll drive a long way for it. And that's you. You could be that jazz jam, sir.
Put it up. The dress is just room for bigger balls, man. Throw it up.
Hell yeah.
Why am I wearing this dress? Because my dick don't fit well in jeans. That's right. Oh, I think. But yeah.
We lose.
Is my Wi-Fi working?
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking, but I couldn't hear anything. I think you froze there.
Is my Wi-Fi working? I can't.
Yeah. You froze up. You were talking. I was waiting, but I was like, I think she's talking, but there's no sound coming up. Oh yeah, Suzanne's freezing up bad.
Oh okay. No. Yeah. No, my Wi-Fi is kind of being shitty. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so annoying. Anyway, but yeah, perfect. Well, I think we answered that question. Should we did
real quick though. D10
plug the
on
wine?
YouTube says he should do a side-by-side picture, one with a dress, one with the jeans. I like that. Best of both worlds. You know what I mean? You could be and do one naked. It'll be like Neapolitan ice cream. It'll be great. Now Suzanne has disappeared.
Oh, jeez, I didn't see that shit coming.
She's having issues, man. But we're going to plug right along. We are going to we're gonna do a quick plug for the white wine. Do you need a nice refreshing?
It's more than refreshing. It's freshing.
Yes, it's freshing. It's fresh like the first time, not this like recycled freshness. Okay, it's not refresh. It's just regular fresh. Do you need a good Pinot Grigio? then get you some Camontini Pinot Grigio. Why is there singing in this? I thought this was just instrumental. Either way, doing the wine commercial to lyrics. A premium single vineyard Pinot Grigio from its spiritual home in Trentino. Is anyone learned and knows where Trentino is?
It sounds Italian.
It sounds like the director. Does he own a wine vineyard? A whole valley? I don't know.
It's not a real home. It's a spiritual home, so it could be anywhere.
So this is actually grown in New Jersey, but spiritually it's in fucking Spain. Okay. I see what they're doing here. The locals call this area Valfrida, or Cold Valley, where Pinot Grigio grapes mature to perfection. That sounds like some Game of Thrones shit. That sounds like some North of the Wall. If I fucking turn into a goddamn White Walker at the end of this bottle, I'm going to be very upset. And I'm going to sue Camontini Pinot Grigio. Get you some. Now, let's take one more question from the wild animals on Yahoo Answers.
Next question. Multi-dating. Where do I draw the line? I'm a 30-year-old female, and I found myself in a pickle, but a good one, I suppose. I've been single for 2.5 years, and in that time, I've dated mostly several flings for the last 2 or 3 months. I've always been pretty good about dating multiple people to avoid putting all of my eggs into one basket. Here comes my dilemma. I've recently started seeing 2 guys. One is 30 and the other is 38 years old. They're both truly dreamy and amazing, and they're checking all my boxes. I've been on 3 dates with the first one, been intimate and spent the night with them, and we've even met a few of each other's friends. This is a little fast for me, but it happened organically. The latter I've seen twice. We haven't been as intimate, but he did come to my apartment to make out and meet my cat. He also
I took the first guy to the jazz bar to go see him, and he didn't seem down with the idea of it. He wasn't on board.
Checking her boxes, they're meeting her cat. Yeah. The euphemisms just endless.
I was hoping one guy could check my box while the other guy kind of fluffed on the side.
Oh, met your
and
cat,
then he would continue checking my box when the other guy got tired.
The second guy also mentioned taking a weekend trip together soon. I have no intention of breaking things off with either of them right now. I'm hoping to see where both of them go to provide more clarity on which would be a better match. Or they could just dump me. But my question is, how long do I keep this up? Is this something that I keep going? No. I mean, why would you do that to your cat? You're just introducing new daddies all the time. What kind of trailer trash park mom are you?
Cats cannot be confused that way.
Yeah, it's, the cat's going to get confused in the litter box, and it's going to be like, pick a guy. I don't know. Like, I can understand. To me, the line is always like when you're intimate with someone. Like, that's when it's kind of like, like, maybe pick, like, unless you're like casually dating. But if you're like sort of going down this like intimate, like, relationship type tunnel with 2 people at the same time, I mean, those are called cheaters, like, in my opinion.
I love how diplomatic she is with the definition. I'm just multi-dating. I have the same thing going on. I am currently in a semi-open relationship with my fiance. Yeah, you know what the definition of that is? It means that I can, if I meet like a lady at the bar or something, I can go home with her. She can go home with me, as long as my fiance never finds out about it. She can never find out. If she knew that I was in a semi-open relationship, she would murder me, and she would murder the lady that I'm, semi-multi-dating, or whatever we're going to call it.
Yeah, first of all, this woman is not concerned about her situation. She's 1,000% bragging about it. Nobody who's really worried.
Self-absorbed.
Nobody who's worried about their situation says the phrase, "Here comes my dilemma." And here it is, my dilemma.
Yes.
Like, enjoy.
Yeah.
Here comes my dilemma. I'm trying to defuse a bomb. I work with the bomb squad. Do I go with the red wire or the blue wire? It's up to a fucking nuke underneath Manhattan. Look at this dilemma.
No one does that. Yeah, it's like normally people complain about dating of like, it's unrequited love and it's, oh, no one wants to date me. She's like, oh, what's my dilemma? I just have two amazing guys that just want to eat me out all day long. What do I do?
I think she's got to go for it. If she feels so good about herself, she's got to bring these two together. She has got to make the ultimate sin occur.
Like a throuple?
She's got to. She's got to. There's no choice. She can't choose one or the other. Go hard or go home, I say.
I was reading this BuzzFeed article this week, and it was talking about people in like, not polygamy, but polyamory or polyamorous relationships, where it's, it's just like a lot of people.
Where they fuck octopuses, like that documentary.
Yeah. And it was very much like, and like a lot of them were like, oh, I was married to my husband, and now we have a polyamorous relationship with my best friend or her husband, and it just happened organically. I'm like, how? How does that organically happen? Here's what organically happened.
With mushrooms.
I was going to say, what's the name of the wine tonight?
It is Camotini Pinot Grigio, the official Pinot Grigio of all polyamorous relationships. The church may call it one thing, but here we just call it a good night of drinking.
See, here's my thing: is I have no problem with it at all.
Actually,
like, if everyone in the relationship is happy, that's I absolutely have no problem with polyamory. But I just need more details on how that relationship grows organically. Like, I need to know. I need more.
Asking for a friend, I see.
Yeah, I feel like I'm 5.
I picture this ending with like the male version of the wife from Goodfellas is going to be banging on someone's door and fucking screaming.
Yeah. Because here the thing about this that is irritating is she's like, oh, I'm fine with having this intimate relationship with people.
Right.
What if they're not? Like, but if she said to the guys, look, I'm also seriously dating this other person. I don't know which one I'm going to pick. And both of them were like, fine, I'm going to wait it out for you, you fucking princess. Like, that's fine, But the fact that she's like, I'm fine, so they must be fine. Like, she's so self-absorbed and conceited.
Yeah, here's what I would... go ahead.
This girl, I guarantee you, has no female friends. There's no fucking way. Women hate her because when she does have a female friend, she probably hits on her friend's boyfriend just to show 100%. That she can, and she does that kind of bullshit. Or if there's like a group and there's one of her female friends likes one of the guy friends of the group because there is or was a group at some point. Because she's 30 now, so she's been in her 20s for most of this time. She'll flirt with the guy that her friend likes just to show that she can. Yeah. And then they slowly just ostracize her. And then she tells her guy friends, I don't know why women hate me. And of course, they're talking to her because they want to fornicate with the nudity and the thrusting and the genitals and the climax for at least one of them. I won't tell you which one. They want to do that. Right. And they want to do that situation.
She has no female friends, 100%.
No female friends. I mean, get used to owning those cats, lady, because there's a lot of owning cats in your future.
Yeah, and she takes no responsibility for that either. She's like, oh, do you believe Tina was being such a bitch to me because I multi-dated her fiance on her bed while she was at work?
Yeah.
He was checking my boxes for hours.
I multi-blew her fiance under the table at Cracker Barrel. Fuck you. Yeah.
I gave her fiance multi-rashes, and now she's got a real fucking attitude problem.
But yeah, she does seem like a nightmare. So my advice to this woman is, look, you sound like a nightmare. How about you consider if one other person's feelings and at least tell one of the guys that you're dating someone else. And if you don't want to do that and you can't bring yourself to be an adult about this situation, then just know that you're a terrible person. And every night before you go to bed, I want you to say to yourself, and no, you're a terrible person.
Yeah.
That is the weakest.
It's like daily affirmations, but the opposite. I want you to look in the mirror and fucking take yourself down a peg.
But
I assume that was sort of blanket advice for
Yeah.
everyone we deal with on this show, was to tell them that they're a terrible person and to keep repeating.
Oh yeah,
themselves.
I start from a
Yeah,
place that
that's sort of
they're a
standard
terrible
right there.
person, and they now have to dig themselves out with the question. Yeah, that's usually the way that goes.
She's terrible, and I'm now worked up. I feel like we should move on before I break something.
my advice to her is go hard. Just go for it. Try to make it a throuple. And if you fail, well, then you'll always be a horrible person anyway. So,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
It's not going to work out just dating each. Now, granted, it's going to be a tough sell. It's going to be like, hey, listen, you know how last week I went with you to Jazz Jam, even though that's fucking terrible. It's terrible music and a terrible term. Well, I was hoping in return you could double stuff me with this guy.
Oh my God.
I'm bringing this guy over.
Is this woman the woman from the first question? Who's half
I think
two different people? Oh,
I think so. That's why I said at the beginning. I think she dragged one of them to Jazz Jam. And she's like, why is Gary got such a fucking sour puss on his face?
Because he's never met your cat.
But I brought Tim. Tim's awesome. I mean, he should see the size of Tim's dick. It's great. Why would he want Tim to come?
They need to get together, have a little jazz jam of their own. Yeah. It'll be great.
I tried telling him. I was like, it's big, it's veiny, not too veiny, curves, but not like a Nike swoosh, just a little bit of invert. You know what I mean? Like, just check out Tim's dick.
Can we have one Love Guru where you don't describe a dick in minute detail?
Nope.
Just one.
It's part of the show. That was going to be the logo. I was just going to have a sketch draw a dick, and that was going to be the logo of the show.
I know what I signed on for.
Yeah, but we couldn't, we couldn't get it monetized. It was just a big, very detailed, very accurately drawn dick. And
too accurately, there was an issue of rights.
All of a sudden, it's not family friendly anymore. Fucking
Yeah.
cocksuckers over there at the, at the community standards boards.
Seriously. Amazing. Well, I think we answered that question. Should we do one more?
Yeah, absolutely. Last question on the Love Gurus. People, write your questions in to loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com. Until then, join us live every single Thursday at 9 p.m. on YouTube. Thank you to D10 for chatting. It's been kind of slow this week. You got it. Listeners, show up live more or write questions to Yahoo, loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com. Until then, we're going to take one more from the Wild Savages on Yahoo Answers.
Last question. How should I bring up my felony conviction? About 5 years ago.
Yeah, in a dress. That's how you should do it. In a dress at a jazz jam with some other chick on your arm, too.
Definitely put your mugshot in your Tinder profile.
Yes. Do all of the horrible things these people have done, combined with your arrest record, and just throw it all out there.
Only picture in your Tinder profile.
Yes, it's you holding up your rap sheet. You holding up your rap sheet in front of your blouse.
Yeah. I'm a 31-year-old male, and about 5 years ago, I was convicted of a white-collar felony involving falsifying records, requiring my changing career field, as I served 6 months on home detention with an ankle bracelet. This is very well publicized and is easily discoverable.
Oh, dude, I've had an ankle bracelet. Whatever. Just don't tell them.
Yeah, with my unique name. I'm extraordinarily embarrassed about my conviction and only share this information on a need-to-know basis. Except the internet. We're never going to find you. Okay. I now work as a computer programmer, and I'm finally in a position to return to dating. I'm not a lifelong criminal. Other than that one very serious and very poor decision, I've been a straight as an arrow kind of guy. No smoking, no drugs, no alcohol, and certainly no other convictions. But the stigma of being a convicted felon.
I don't smoke. I don't drink, and only one felony.
Right, I stole $1 million from
I like candlelit dinners.
Fund, but yeah,
I like long walks on the beaches, and I like putting shit on government documents that ain't real. I like to Photoshop shit from the bank.
Yeah, if you want to embezzle all night long.
Obviously, my felony conviction is relevant information for a woman. Considering a serious relationship with me, I have to share this. I can't wait too long because it's easily discoverable on Google, but it's also not something that I want to put on my profile or share via text message. Any advice on how to bring this up or discuss this or an appropriate timeline for doing so?
Well, obviously, lead with I like to, dress as a woman once a month, and then after that, who cares who you embezzled from? You're a damn ambitious criminal.
Here's the thing that's weird about his question is he's like, oh, I need to tell them at some point because it's so Googleable. Like, unless you're, who's the kid with the rainbow hair that got arrested? What is his name?
Harry
Takashi
Styles.
6ix9ine.
Harry Styles.
Unless you're
You heard it here.
Unless you're Takashi 6ix9ine, like really? Like because in dating apps, like they leave the last name off for a reason, mostly to protect women. But I guess we'll let them in there every once in a while. But they leave your last name out for a reason, and so if you're concerned that she's going to Google your whole name and find out your felony, it's not going to happen until she knows your last name. So you can,
I want to know this sick woman that just Googled Todd and went through the image search for 6 months to find this guy.
Yeah. Oh, but I guess, you know what, you can't do those because you can Google search an image. So if you have the picture, I wonder
Todd, white collar crime.
if it comes up with like his mugshot or something. Very interesting.
My name is Todd Smith, which is a very common name.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's name is
I'm
Todd. We know
guilty
that.
of white-collar business crimes. This other Todd Smith in New Hampshire, guy fucked a rooster. Not even a chicken. He got the goddamn rooster. How messed up you gotta be to fuck a rooster?
Yeah.
So if you're a woman who's been dating, and not a woman or a man, but anybody, if you're anybody who's been dating a lot of blue collar criminals, do you get excited about dating a white collar criminal? Like, isn't that like a step up, like a more ambitious kind of, more secure kind of criminal, or is it less sexy because, like, whatever, they know men?
I could definitely go both ways.
Yeah.
I could definitely go both ways, but
Yeah.
I think it's a proud moment.
White
for her
collar
and her
criminals are
family.
not good in bed, I imagine.
No,
Yeah.
but they provide security. I think
That's
she's
true.
calling home, Ma, Pa, I got a new man. All right, yeah, he just got out of the pen.
Right.
No, it's not. No, get a load of this. Not another carjacker.
Yeah, no, he robbed
Embezzlement.
the mob is what he did. He
I'm
embezzled.
fucking an embezzler, Mama. This was y'all's dream for me. This was y'all's dream.
Yeah. It's definitely, I think, you think about all of the people that are in prison, they kind of all seem to have girlfriends, which is like the whole basis behind Love After Lockup. Like there's a whole series about it, and they seem to get girlfriends just fine. I think that this guy is just being very self-conscious.
Are you saying he
about
did the
his
crime for
crime.
the girlfriends?
Sorry?
Are you saying he did the crime for the girlfriends?
No, I'm not saying he did the crime for the girlfriends, but I'm just saying, like, think of all of the criminals, that or like the people that are in prison that they have girlfriends and so like that's totally a thing. And like people, meet like via pen pals in prison, and it's just like people get over it. People will date you if you're a cross-dresser. People will date you if you're a convicted felon. They will not date you if you go to jazz jam.
Yeah.
Yes.
Buying a line. But I just feel like it's fine. I don't know, like figure it out. Like the right person will be fine with it. Also, don't do online dating. Try and meet someone organically, and then come together with a polyamorous relationship.
Yeah. Ma, now, yes, he is an embezzler, which is great. He's polyamorous, though, Ma. Dude wears dresses and has sex with octopus.
Polyamorous relationships aren't going to pay for themselves. Somebody needs to be funneling cash out of a pension fund to keep
That's
that
true.
thing going.
That's true. He's got to buy a lot of flowers, a lot of steak dinners.
Right.
This
Somebody's
guy.
got to be the white collar criminal in every polyamorous relationship.
That's true.
It's a thankless job. Sometimes you go to prison, but it's got to be done.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's two things I want to throw in here. First of all, he acts like he's hiding it on his profile, and maybe he is, but I guarantee you he gets drunk and brags about that shit.
Oh
I
yeah.
guarantee you.
I
No
would
way.
too.
And also, more importantly, if we could just backtrack to before Suzanne read the question, Jake, if you could kindly Venmo me $1 every time you say Wild Savages, I would be most grateful.
Yes.
I moved to California. Was all my shit up for grabs? Like, what was the deal? Everybody's just
savages. I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that. You say Wild Savages too.
That's the problem. I've been gone for 6 years now. And,
No, dude, I've had that in the opening. That's been in there for years, man.
I didn't know that. Jesus Christ,
Dude,
man!
I have it in a cartoon. I had Amy drew a cartoon to Wild Savages.
They're doing. Oh my God! They're we're doing all. Go ahead. We're never going to work this out.
I'm sorry. I totally vanilla iced wild savages from you. No. It doesn't go dun 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 dun. Mine goes dun 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 dun. I totally I did that to you.
That's all right. You steal from the best league, and that's how I'm going to get over it.
Sampled it.
There's guys and girls in Astoria doing, I could call them girls, I'm 61 years old. There's guys and girls in Astoria doing karate kicks for no reason. They're mouthing off to Booker assistants on Facebook. It's all just going to shit.
Yeah,
they can't touch me.
New York's not the same without you, Bob.
That's
Bob,
probably thank you, but that's probably better for New York, though.
Well,
come back here, man.
The pandemic, it seems.
It's opening up quicker here.
Here we're indoors already. We got a pretty low state COVID case. California's doing awesome, man. Nice. I got my first shot yesterday. So if you'll all stay, so if you could just stay 3 feet away and cover your left nostril until I get the second one.
Compromise.
That was just silly. Now I'm just running bits here. Boy, what the hell are you going to do?
That's what we're here for.
Out of cleaning products and orange juice. I made my own. Yeah. Less symptoms than that bullshit Pfizer, Moderna, any of that. Mine's great.
The reason California is doing so well, you know what cures, what really fights off the COVID virus is $4 for a gallon of gasoline. If you get $4 gasoline, you're not going to get COVID. So I drink about 1 or 2 gallons of those a day, and I'm good.
Yeah, it's true. The COVID gets in there, and your gut full of gasoline. It's like it falls in that, and it's just like the Wicked Witch at the end of Wizard of Oz. Just like I thought I was gonna fucking give him the sniffles. Now I'm melting in his gut. This is diesel. He drank diesel. He didn't even do the ethanol. At least that's kind of like corn. I can survive in that. This man is a savage. He's a wild savage.
Savage. Yeah.
I like the fact that when I heard you tell that story right there, you said $4 gallon of gasoline, and I didn't know if that was a high price or a low price because, like any true New Yorker, really I have no clue what the cost of gasoline is.
I gathered that was the punchline basically of it, but yeah, I have no concept for how much that costs.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll bet.
What do you do with gasoline? Funny. What is it for? Doesn't run a train.
It ruins your electric car. I have lizards. Outside my apartment. I have pet lizards now. I just have lizards. Yeah, it's so great.
I love that.
Yeah, I rent a car like once a year.
They just scamper. Yeah.
And people look at me ridiculous because I fucking I fill the car up. I try to figure out where to swipe the Metro card in the machine. Doesn't take Metro card. Takes credit cards. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I completely forget how those goddamn things.
I still have mine.
Yeah.
There's nothing on it. There's less than $1 on this thing. Do you know what the job of this Metro card is? It's to protect my debit card.
Nice.
From being scratched and beat up.
Nice.
This is my.
That's more service than it ever did. Yeah.
I totally.
This is also my tough guy badge, by the way. If life was hard once, bam, slap that down there, and someone's like, "Oh, is this motherfucker?" I bet he did some embezzling at 31 years old.
Embezzlers
I brought it all back. I brought it all back to the thing.
He doesn't give correct information to the IRS at all, by golly. This guy.
About this guy, he's trying to hide the fact that he's a white-collar criminal when he strikes me as someone that if you met him, you would say, that guy's a white-collar criminal within 5 minutes of meeting him. He just has all the ticks of a guy. I don't think this is going to be kept a secret. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he should just be honest. Yeah, don't put it on your profile, but you can just say it. And again, like everyone's got some shit in their back. Maybe he'll fall in love with a female felon, and it's gonna be true love at first sight.
Yeah, they're gonna forge their kids' birth certificates. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, it's very weird in contrast to the question we had earlier, where like I definitely think the dude who chooses to go as a woman once a month should share that information and get out there and let people resonate with that, because there's nothing wrong with that. But like this guy's a criminal, so maybe hold off on that to like date 6. before
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Let them Google that. Let them do the work. And actually, I think it's important to know that they can Google that, because if you're dating someone and they haven't found out after 6 weeks that you're a white collar criminal, you shouldn't date them.
Yeah. They
like
can't-
that's on them.
Yeah. I agree.
You could put it in a list of things and kind of like that the Damon Wayans classic Major Payne, where before he operates on someone, he like breaks their finger to distract them from the pain. You know, this is what you do. You tell them just other bad things. You know, by the way, I like jazz. By the way, I look better in that dress than you do. By the way, went to jail for copyright infringement or whatever.
Again, let them figure that out. And if they can't figure it out, then you just found a spouse that you can do pretty much anything behind their back at that point.
Yeah.
And that is the greatest gift of all.
I don't have to lose the side piece until she gets smart enough to figure out what the hell I was doing for 6 months.
If you're multi-dating and you date and you marry one of them, marry the one that wasn't smart enough to figure out you were a white collar criminal.
Yeah. You got to multi-date with the women that play checkers, not chess. See? That's a move.
Yeah, amazing. Well, perfect. Well, I think we answered that question. I think we answered all of our questions somehow with the same answer.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are all terrible people.
Yes. Be yourselves, only to yourselves. Never go out in public. None of you should meet people or breed or do anything of that nature. But you know who's not monsters is the listeners. Thank you guys for listening. Yes. Watch us live every single Thursday on YouTube, 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you to Mark DeFrancis. Thank you to Bob. Thank you to all you wild savages out there listening. Right,
another $1 right there.
Go. Another $1.
I want my $1.
Until next week, catch us live every single week on YouTube. Till next time. Oh, thank you to D10 for watching on YouTube.
D10.
Until next week, listeners. Later.